Hello, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I am still under the weather, but I am on the mend, although my voice does not sound like it. I promise I am. Today is December 3rd, the third day of what I am calling Quiltmas instead of Vlogmas. And welcome. Today is also my youngest sister's birthday. Um, Wanted to show you what I've been up to. Oh, that's a thread. I'll need to check that out. First of all, this beauty right here, I have been in search of for quite some time. It is an antique sewing basket. And like I said, I've been on the search for it for a while. I have had 5 of them slip through my fingers and finally found one and was able to get a hold of it. The lady that I bought this one from on Facebook Marketplace actually had just come into possession of it by buying the contents of several storage units. She has some other sewing items that she said she would reach out to me once she sorted through them to see if I'd like to have. But needless to say, when I saw this posted and I double checked to see if it was still available, I jumped on it. I drove from work to home to pick up my husband because I don't do those kind of pickups by myself. Um, and then we drove to Maryland with the traffic. It took me almost 2 hours. Without traffic, it normally would have taken me about 30, maybe 45 minutes. But with traffic, it was horrendous. That was it a Friday? I think it was a Friday evening. It was a Friday, yes. But I got it, and I'm glad I did. It is an accordion style sewing basket, and I'll try not to show myself other than my arms and my hands. You really don't want to see me right now. The contents of what was in that basket were cross stitch, some cross stitch patterns, and I think I have another video that I'll post at a later date where I actually go through all of the contents that were in this basket. Yes, I do. So I'll post that later. But it was a lot of, I think they call it needle punch embroidery. And so I have all of that. It's kind of to the side for the moment because I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put it. But while I was in bed yesterday, I spent a couple of hours sorting through all of my hand sewing things and putting them in the sewing basket and organizing it all. And I'll show you what I have. It may get a little shaky, and I apologize for that. But I will show you how I chose to organize everything. These are my things as well as some of my mother's things, being that, first of all, let me just show you. Let me show you first. Again, I apologize for the shakiness. Please forgive me. But that is how I chose to organize everything. And this will sit on the side of my, be quiet, on the side of my couch. I did let my dogs in here. One of my dogs is in heat and she is not fixed. And so I have to keep them separated. this is new. I bought this and started organizing all of my, Bailey, be quiet, all of my embroidery threads. But I've also added my mother's now to this mix. And let me tell you, it was bittersweet. This is her case. And I chose to keep her case and get rid of my other, well, not get rid of it, but not use it for this. These are just loose threads. I don't know if you could see that really have no home. And I don't want to mix them in with the others. There are a pair of her scissors. Let me tell you, as I started going through her threads, I had several moments of just breaking down. Like I said, this was bittersweet. Going through all of these threads was really bittersweet because, oh, I wish she were here to have her things back. I would love to give her things back. And two, I would love to sit next to my mother and hear her voice and let her teach me how to do hand embroidery and cross stitch. She had to learn how to do those things. Those were part of education in her school days. She had to learn how to hand sew, embroider, and cross stitch. There was no choice. But here I've got my needle minders, some of them anyway. This is a keeps your needles. You can pre-thread your needles, and then when you need one, you just pop it out. These are some English paper piecing that I'm doing, and those are English paper pieces. Oh gosh, you know what they are. I hope you do, because my mind is just drawn a blank. Pattern pieces or cards, whatever. My mind is a blank right now. So, I mean, a lot of this I did go through in the previous video. Her magnifying glass, I do recall seeing her use that a time or two. And as I was placing it in here, I lost it. I don't know, it just seemed to make it final all over again. That like she is not here at all. So that's that. Once I got all of that organized the way I wanted it. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Then, let's see if I can get everything back in here now. So once I got everything in here organized like I wanted it, I was definitely pleased and satisfied with it, right? I do need to tighten these screws up and oil them. I'm really trying not to get into the camera shot. You guys really do not want to see me. Like, really do not want to see me. I did good to take a shower, but I've done absolutely nothing to my hair. And I am okay with that. I really do like this. So after I got this all organized like I wanted, I was left with my hand quilting hoops. Still more embroidery thread and a beginner's embroidery pattern or kit. And all of this. I don't even know if these are still working. I'm going to check them out in a little bit. These are transfer pins so that you could transfer the embroidery or cross stitch patterns onto the cloths. That's what she used. And these were the 8 cloths that she had. And these were, you know, like you saw in the other one, these are all of the things that were left. This is the hand quilting project I'm still working on. That's going to end up being a pillow cover, or a pillow rather, I should say. And so I'm just about finished with that. I think when I finish with this video, I will go sit down because I still don't feel 100% and work on that. These are fabrics that I want to make a grandmother's flower garden quilt. And these are the fabrics that I want to use. They remind me of the Liberty fabrics, though they are not Liberty fabrics, but I just thought, you know, it's really pretty with the florals. And so that's what I'll be using. And these are quilting stencils that you use the pounce pad with, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to take these and trace onto like and make some more pillows, cloth, just plain fabric, and trace on that and practice stitches with that, hand stitching. So I have those things left that I still need to find a home for and organize. And this is what I'm thinking. I could put everything in this. This is where I've kept my hexie flowers that I use as labels on my quilts. And I can find another home for these. That's not a problem. So I can put everything in that. Oh, and then I still have all of these to find a home for. And this is, I plan to use this for hand sewing, big stitch quilting rather. And so I could put everything in that container, or let's see if I can bring you over here without making you sick or shaking you up too much. Let me tell you, my dogs are thoroughly enjoying the fact that they get to be in here right now. Because like I said, this is a no pet zone in here. I love them, but they don't get to come in here at all. But they are both laying down, sleeping quietly, both of them, until you hear them barking. And she's on the outside of the door. But I still have this rolly cart, and I can remove all of this on this cart and put everything on that cart and put it next to my couch as well. This is my yarn for crochet and knitting. I haven't done any knitting for a while, so it is something I can still pick back up whenever I, can't get in here to do quilting, or you know how sometimes you just burn out on one craft and you just move to another. That's why I just leave that. When I have a moment and I want to get back into it, I can. Because there's still an Afghan that I'm working on with granny squares, and I think those granny squares measure 3 inches. Or maybe it's 4. Anyway, I digress. So I could put it in this cart here, and it's a 3-tiered cart, which means I have to find a home for all of this, and that's not a problem either. The middle one, that's my EQ8 guidebook, and I need to put that by the computer anyway so I can start learning how to use it. I've had EQ8 for I don't know how many years, and I have not fully utilized it. I've utilized it a time or two, but not to the full extent of its capabilities. And that was a lot of money, so I need to use that investment. So that's the dilemma that I have. And if I use this, I can get everything in it. Like the other little tote basket plastic thing and then all those other threads, I can put them at the bottom because that's something I would pick up when needed. And then I could arrange these other two top tiers with the fabrics and my quilt hoops and projects and so forth. And so I'm kind of leaning towards using this cart. But you guys let me know down in the comment section. How would you continue organizing everything? I do need to get it organized though. This was the last box from moving that I had not unpacked because I just did not know where to put everything. And then when I found the basket that I wanted, I knew I would put it all in there, but all of it does not fit. And so I just need to get that done so I can get that last box out of my house. All right, guys, I feel my energy waning. I hope and pray that you have had a marvelous 3 days of December thus far. I'd love to hear in the comment section what you're working on. December is my month of sewing for myself. I don't do any sewing for anyone else. And that decision came up a few years ago as I was losing my mind trying to sew last minute gifts for friends and family. And then when they opened those gifts and they had a not so appreciative attitude towards those gifts, not understanding the time that I had poured into those gifts, it really just put me in a different mind frame that if I make anything for anyone and gift it to them, it has to be done before December. And if I am going to sew in December, it has to be something for myself, which is why I will be working on my Christmas quilt as soon as I get my energy and stamina back up. And anything else I do for the rest of this month will be for myself. I figure I'll pour into me and love on me in the month of December. All right, guys, that's it. You guys take care. God bless. I'll see you in the next video sooner rather than later. Bye.